They say if you're smart, you'll succeed. If you're talented, you'll be rich. If you think deeper, speak less, and move with precision, the world will eventually reward you. That's the lie. Because somewhere right now, a Sigma male is sitting in silence. Smarter than the CEO, more visionary than the influencer, more principled than the guru. And yet he's broke. Not because he's not capable, not because he's not working, but because the game wasn't designed for him to win. Unless he rewrites the rules. This video isn't about money, it's about the cost of solitude, the price of independence, and the haunting gap between brilliance and wealth. These are the 6 reasons Sigma males stay broke, even when they're light years ahead of the crowd. Reason 1, he respects freedom more than money. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Most people trade their freedom for security. They don't chase dreams, they chase paychecks. They don't seek fulfillment, they seek consistency. Sigma males, they run the opposite direction. And that is where the trouble starts. Because while the world rewards conformity, Sigma males crave sovereignty. Not just financial freedom, but time freedom, mental freedom, the ability to say no without fear. It sounds noble, right? And it is, but it's also expensive. See, while the average person climbs the corporate ladder, Sigma males are busy burning it down and building their own. While others polish resumes, Sigmas are reading philosophy in a coffee shop, studying algorithms, planning startups no one's heard of yet. Their value, it's real, but it's not always monetizable, not immediately anyway. Because here's the paradox. The Sigma isn't lazy, he's selective. He won't work just for money. He won't clock in to impress anyone. And he won't beg for promotions in systems he doesn't believe in. He'd rather be broke and true to himself than rich and someone else's puppet. And that idealism, it costs, not just in dollars, in missed opportunities, in delayed progress, in misunderstood brilliance. But here's the twist. He's not wrong for thinking that way. He's just ahead of his time. And until the world catches up, or he builds his own corner of it, he often stays broke. Not because he's stupid, but because he refuses to sell his soul. Reason 2, he hates playing the social game that pays the bills. There's an unwritten rule in the world of money. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Networking, small talk, office politics, shaking hands, smiling when you don't mean it, laughing at jokes you don't find funny. To most people, that's just being professional. To a Sigma male, it's psychological nausea. Sigma males are allergic to phoniness. They don't network, they connect. They don't kiss up, they stand out. They don't fake it till they make it. They make it, or they walk away. And that's exactly why they get overlooked. Because in a world that promotes the loudest, the flashiest, the most connected, the quiet genius who prefers solitude and honesty gets left behind. He doesn't play politics. He doesn't fit in. He doesn't schmooze or hustle or charm his way into rooms. So guess what? He doesn't get the same invites. He doesn't get recommended. He doesn't get backed. He doesn't get bankrolled. And that keeps him broke. Not because he lacks value, but because he refuses to navigate a system built on performance. It's tragic, it's powerful, and it's part of what makes him real. But it's also why some of the most brilliant Sigma minds you'll ever meet are sitting behind laptops in basements, working on world-changing ideas that no one's funding. Reason 3, he builds slowly because he refuses to rush genius. Here's the thing about Sigma males. They're not looking for quick wins. They're playing a long game. While the world screams, scale now, 10x this, monetize that, the Sigma male is saying, is it true? Is it beautiful? Is it mine? He's not trying to go viral. He's trying to build something timeless. That startup he's working on, it's not a money grab. It's a personal revolution. That novel he's writing, it's not clickbait. It's a philosophical journey. That YouTube channel, the art, the invention, the code, it's not for everyone. It's for the ones who get it. And that mindset, it's powerful, but it's also slow. While others chase speed, Sigma males chase authenticity. They want to build right, not fast. But here's the catch. The world rewards speed. It promotes the first mover, the fastest hands, the one who can pivot the quickest and sell the flashiest dream. And Sigma males, they lag behind, not because they're lazy, but because they're refining, obsessing over details, rethinking strategies, letting silence sharpen the blade. They might take 5 years to launch what others launch in one, but when they do, it hits different. Problem is, until that day comes, they're often broke, living frugally, building quietly, wrestling with doubt in the dark. But here's what no one sees. When the world catches up to what they were building in solitude, everything changes. Until then, they stay broke, not from failure, but from patience. Reason 4, he overthinks every move while the world rewards action. Let's not sugarcoat it. Sigma males are thinkers, but sometimes they think themselves into poverty. See, the Sigma brain isn't wired for surface-level living. It's built for depth, for patterns, for meaning behind meaning. He doesn't just ask, should I start a business? He asks, what's the moral cost of capitalism? He doesn't just say, let's sell this product. He says, does this actually make someone's life better? And while that depth is what makes him rare, it's also what makes him slow. Because while he's zooming in on the ethics, mechanics, and potential outcomes, others are already out there launching, selling, promoting, failing, retrying, and profiting. That's the hard truth. The market doesn't reward thinkers. It rewards doers. And Sigma males, they live in their heads so much they often miss their moment. They'll sit on an idea for years. They'll draft version after version of a website they never launch. They'll create a brand and then question whether it's too ego-driven. They self-sabotage in the name of principle. But here's the paradox. Overthinking is fear wearing a philosopher's robe. It feels noble, it feels responsible, but it can be a mask for perfectionism, for insecurity, for a fear of rejection masquerading as strategy. And in a world that moves at lightning speed, that overthinking, it keeps them broke. Because while brilliance is valuable, execution is what pays the bills. Reason 5, he refuses to monetize what he loves until it's too late. There's a secret tragedy no one talks about. Sigma males protect their passion like a sacred fire. They don't want it tainted by profit. They don't want to turn their art into a job. They don't want to become one of those people. The sellouts, the influencers, the marketers. So what do? They create in silence. They write pages that no one reads. They invent tools they never release. They make music no one hears. Because somewhere deep down, they believe, if I monetize it, I'll lose the magic. And maybe they're right, but maybe they're too right. Because while they protect their love from the world never sees it. And that invisibility, it costs them, not just financially, but emotionally. Because slowly that sacred fire starts to burn out. Not from overexposure, but from being starved of oxygen. What they don't realize is, you can monetize your art without selling out. You can honor the thing and still charge for it. You can stay true and still eat. But that line is blurry. And Sigma males, they'd rather keep their purity and stay broke. It's tragic, it's beautiful, it's avoidable. But only if they're willing to shift one belief. Profit doesn't poison passion, neglect does. Reason 6, he underestimates the power of branding and self-promotion. Let's get brutally honest. You can be the smartest guy in the room, but if no one knows your name, you're just another ghost in the algorithm. Sigma males, they hate the spotlight. They're not posting selfies. They're not chasing followers. They're not obsessing over logos, slogans, or building a personal brand. Because to them, that stuff feels fake, surface level, corporate, performative, and they're not wrong. But here's where they are wrong. People don't buy talent. They buy identity. They buy a story, a vibe, a symbol that says, this guy gets it. And Sigma males, they keep hiding behind their genius, behind a laptop, behind a pseudonym, behind stoic silence. And that silence, it doesn't make them mysterious. It makes them invisible, which is why less talented, less thoughtful people end up making more money. Because they know how to be seen, They package themselves, they craft a message, they show up, even if imperfectly. Meanwhile, the Sigma is in the shadows, whispering wisdom to the void. He thinks the work will speak for itself. But in today's world, the work needs a microphone. It needs branding. It needs storytelling. It needs to be promoted by the person who made it. And until he learns that, he'll keep building masterpieces for an audience of one. If this spoke to you, like, share, and subscribe. Not for the algorithm, but because truth needs a louder mic. More realness is coming. Stay sharp, stay silent, stay Sigma.